what we'll do, we'll go this way and have a look.
Yeah.
How far Balfour off the track?
Not very.
Not very?
5Ks maybe.
So this isn't the Balfour track, this is just the track to Balfour. Like the Balfour track's behind us, on the other side of the road. We'll just poke our nose up that afterwards just to see what it's like. But you don't go far because the same thing as there's snorkels and winches and... Don't know where you're going to winch off around here though.
Each other?
Well, if you've got 2 cars, yeah, that's but if you haven't. So I reckon that's the other track we saw coming in.
Yeah.
With a bit, I reckon. So they've made this track roughly okay, so most people can go to the historic side of Balfour, I'd say. And that's not on our Tarkine loop, eh? It's outside their area.
Sure, this is instead of 4-drive track.
Nah, the other way says the Balfour track and said winch and snorkel. This one says nothing. It's like a highway, baby.
Really?
Make sure none of your wine's or there's all your wine flogging around in that.
Well,
the fridge isn't moved anymore, but
the neck of the bottle was on the eggs, so hopefully...
might have no wine and no eggs. We might have a crayfish marinated in wine. Look at that track. Do you want to try that one? It's a pretty steep track, isn't it?
Yes.
No way you drive up
It
that.
doesn't look like a track anymore.
Well, that's for buggies. That'll be for little gin buggies, I'd say. Wow. I don't know if there was ever a track. It would have been bloody steep. Oh no. Jesus, it's better be the down track, surely. That's very steep.
Why would you be out here? Why would you come out here?
Oh, I think it was a tin mine or something like that. We'll find out in a minute. The bridge. Pretty well maintained track, like this. You get through here in your X trail. When you Balfour. Oh, those beers have made it all the way to the front. We better watch out. That's
Oops.
half a carton of cans of beers. There's got nothing holding it up, so I might have to fix that when we stop. Right.
It's on the verge. Right now.
Go to fall over?
Yep.
We'll just put on the floor. Watch out for snakes. I'll move over a bit, so we can see. I'll go around there. I'll get it. Ah, it's on the verge. Cross is averted. The beers just did a backflip down into the footwell.
I'm squishing my books up.
What did books do on the floor? Before you head in here, or while you're heading in, it's well worth having a read on the history of the area. It was a copper mine in the early 1900s, and there's a girl there, Sylvia MacArthur, whose grave is still in the graveyard here, and she used to write. She was 15 years old, and she used to write articles on the area and their life in this remote area to one of the newspapers, one of the bigger newspapers in Tassy, and that is one of their main forms of historical knowledge now, is all these letters that she used to write about her life there. She actually died of typhoid along with most of the people who lived there in 1912 when sewage got mixed in with their drinking water. As a result, most of the people of Balfour actually died, basically left the place a ghost town. Pretty sad story. So this is the Balfour Hotel now, they call it, built on the old grounds of the original Balfour Hotel. Cool Can-Am buggies. Heaps of them in this area, cruising around. Great way to see the place. Now this track here just goes down, you just follow this down a bit and it goes down to the cemetery. So we'll just poke down there for a look. So there's a couple of walks here to do just down here. There's actually 2 private residences here. So they signs up to say keep out of their properties, but there's a walk which goes down to the river, which is pretty cool. And there's no real parking, so we just come back out and parked here. So yeah, the cemetery is just down this way, and don't be afraid of snakes. Worth taking a stick with you and being really noisy, because the track is really overgrown and you can't even see the ground for most of it. Well worth the walk down. To have a look at the gravestones though, remembering that this was once just the side of a big grassy hill overlooking the river, so the trees have grown back pretty well. Yep, that's pretty overgrown. There's a track here somewhere. Bit of a spiel on the whole story. Well worth reading, and it's funny, it's worth looking up this history before you get into the town. It makes the towns sort of more interesting. Not that you call it a town, but into the area makes it the story more interesting, and the area a bit eerie when you first drive in. The big gravestone here is I think one of these is Sylvia, the little girl we just spoke about. And this big one is William Wallace. What a cool name. William Wallace Fullerton Murphy. So they all died pretty young. No good. So this little shelter the locals have built was built a long time after the pub was actually burnt down. Now the only part of the pub that remains is the chimney, and this is all built around that chimney, and out beside it is a shrine to one of the kids who died here as well, one of the boys who died during the typhoid situation in 1912, I think it was. The locals apparently, or whoever comes to stay here, still all use this hut as a bit of a shelter and a gather place. And rumour has it, on the wall behind one of those big covers is a big plasma TV. Don't know if that's true. Pretty ordinary road in, but still worth the visit, especially when you read up on the history of the area. In fact, when we first pulled up, there was no one in this shelter except for 2 wallabies, which was pretty funny. And they're not the local residents. Apparently there's a population of 2. The area has 2 couples, sorry. 2 couples do live here still. And the area has just been engulfed by the original rainforest as it started to grow back. Back in the day, that graveyard used to be on a big grassy hill overlooking the river. We had no intentions of doing the Balfour track because we're by ourselves and it's unadvisable to do it by yourself. Balfour track is about 16 k's long, and it goes from the Sandy Cape track over near Tema across towards the township of Balfour. It's just a groove, if you like, cut into all the marshland, but it has a rock bottom. You can see how bumpy it is. It's really lumpy rock bottom for most of it. Apparently there's quite a few bog holes. One of them's like 70 metres long, and that's why they say not to travel by yourself. It gets very narrow in some of these parts, and you're tempted to go around the main track. There's a few bypass routes, but the bypass routes apparently swallow you up pretty quick because they're still boggy marshland. You haven't got the rock bottom then, so you're better off sticking to the main track apparently. The boys who just came through had one car stuck, and they had 2 cars hooked up to him to get him out. So gives you an indication of how soggy the base can be. So definitely not one you do by yourself. Even with a winch, there's nothing to winch off, so you really need other vehicles with you. They reckon it takes about 3 to 4 hours to do the track. And look at this, I just noticed my antenna looks like it's about to fall off. Another thing to fix. You can see how narrow the track gets, and like one big rut. And there's these bypass tracks like this one all around it. Anyway, not today.
Yeah, the other one looked a bit too tight, Chris.
Yeah, it looks just tight, doesn't it, on the car? I was back. Oh, she's right. We're not doing it today anyway. Not doing it with that other car, so. It was Balfour at a pub at a fuel station. That's pretty funny, wasn't it?
Oh, very funny. They were New South Wales number plate, so they must be over here on holidays.
We've got to go up the end of this gravel road and then put our things on it, then put our
Window.
Let's go slow. Oh.
Would this be what the boys would like?
No, they'll love this. They'll froth this. Oh, nothing. No, we'll probably say we'll do it. I think when I got someone else with me just in case.
Oh yeah,
it's only us two, so
that's a good call.
I haven't even got max race. I got fucking nothing.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So, no.
You want that stuff?
Next time.
All right.
Well, good boys. See you later. Enjoy.
Just blue dust all over them. Grease.
What? That was nerve-wracking. That was horrible. We stopped to pump tyres up, turned back onto the Tarkine loop, and just got swarmed by bees. Now, I wouldn't mind this normally, but I'm allergic to wasps badly. I don't know if I'm to bees or not, but that was pretty scary. I was just surrounded by bees, so I put the hose back in quickly. We had like 5 or 6 bees in the car. Sort of waited for them to go out, left the windows down, drove to the next spot. Whee, Jesus, that come up quick. And then went to another spot like a quarry just up the road, thinking, oh, that'll be right, that'll be better. No trees around, and still had a few hovering around, so. Yeah, hey, beehives.
Yep.
Oh, that's pretty funny.
Oh, that's the bridge.
So we go up to the lookout, do we?
Yeah.
Sumac lookout, only a 1 minute walk from the road. Pretty cool. Very nice. This is the Arthur River. Wow. Like any bridge, there's 2 sides. That's pretty cool. We're doing that Tarkine loop, and I took too many detours to look at stuff, so we ran out of time. And we got windier and windier, and there was a fair bit to look at. But you need a whole day to look at it. We end up looking at the Balfour track, the Southwest track, the bloody all the other ones. So anyway, good look around Balfour. So We've just taken a shortcut to go back across some bridge. What's the bridge called?
Canara.
No, it's old T, didn't it? The bridge. Oh no, was it?
No, Canara.
Oh, Canara Bridge, where they had a good view of the river. And then we've just gone across that and headed up. We found a gravel road on the map, on one map out of 4 shows this gravel road, which I think is this one. It's really hard to tell. Should be called Ball Bearing Road actually, but anyway. It's so because I got for some reason my HEMA's not working, so a bit of bit of geometry on the page of the other map, and decided that we think we're on the right road, and we're just watching my dot go across Google Maps. My car's noisy, everything's falling out. Watching the dot go across Google Maps, and it seems to be going in the right direction, so let's see how we go. Hey, what's coming up here? What do we got here? Give way sign. Oh, interesting. Do we go that way or that way? I would have thought we'd go north. No through. Does that say no through road?
Can't tell. I think so.
No through road.
No through road.
Right, we don't go that way. Warning, what's this one say? Narrow, winding road, drive carefully.
Chris,
What?
drive carefully.
Oh. We're going to look back on our map and see if we're still heading the right way, eh? Looks good so far. The last one was a real well maintained logging track. This one's not too bad, so good, right? Must go somewhere. While we're still in the Tarkine region, that loop's well worth investigating properly, unlike we did. You got to go to the Trowatta Arch. It is unbelievable. I saw photos of it after we missed it. I'd say this heads back up to the Smith to Marrawall Road. Whatever that's called. Pretty funny. There's a gate right at this end of that road. That would have made life rather amusing, but anyway, it's all good. And this way brings us into Marrawall, so I can get some fuel ready for tomorrow or the next day. Heaps of logger tracks like that. I need to get that HEMA Max working. That's really annoying not having that. It was working up the Cape, so I'll have a look at it when we get back. Bloody bleeding. Funny enough, when we were travelling through the scrub, the car GPS screen, which is usually useless, actually showed we're on Salmon River Road, and then finally the maps lit up very faintly with the road, and it was Salmon River Road, so if it had lit up a bit quicker, we would have known what was going on. Anyway, Marrawall, it's public. Have a look at that view. We've just taken off from the shop. Actually, I might take you to that view so you can see. And in the distance, I don't know if you can see, but you can see all the big wind things, the wind farm up Woolnorth. So that's getting up towards the tip can. Look at all the ones right on that corner as well. Wow. There. Right up, which I think is Cape Grim, they call it. There's more. As far as the eye can see. Wow. So that's Woolnorth, way up there you can see. I'll zoom in. Just see the wind farm things. So that's Woolnorth. You can see where they put them up here. Blow a dog off a chain, that would. There's more right along there as far as the eye can see. There's just heaps of them. That's I think Mount Cameron they call that. Absolutely beautiful view. Cracking. What's it like from up here? Oh yeah, that's pretty cool. Good timing. I did the caravan this half. Blow the lead off a dog, I tell you. The lead off a dog. Obviously we've been drinking a lot as well. The dog off a lead. It's just howling and howling. Stood down Arthur River. Our cruise tomorrow's been canned because too windy. So, righto, we're in Tasmania. Do as the Tasmanians do. Drink James Boggs. We're going to have a bit of a cook-up. We're going to have some turf and surf. Dinner's ready! Blowing its ass off today. So that's Arthur River done. I didn't get much sleep last night. The fan was just rocking around all over the place. Apparently it was leaving this morning when it's died right off. It was 45 km/h wind. Last night I don't know what it was, but some of them felt like they're going to rip the pop top off the van. But anyway, we're heading to, that's typical of West Coast Tassy. Pretty normal, I think. We're heading to Corinna. Pretty sure we can't get on the barge because the barge is a 9 metre combined wheelbase. I think we're 11, so we're going to go into Corinna for a look anyway. Maybe have a coffee. And then we're going to cruise around and find, there's quite a few places. We have to go out through Savage River, Waratah, and go around that way, a bit of a longer way around, but we get to see Waratah and all that then. We're going to come in down at somewhere we can base ourselves for Granville Harbour, maybe Climby's Track, and all that. So whether it's Strawn or maybe, is Lake Macintosh? There's a few places anyway, so we're going to have a look when we get down there. Nothing's overly busy here, so I reckon we should be right, I would say. On this road, we were on this road yesterday, so this road just goes to Tema and then turns to gravel and heads to Corinna. Is that right?
Yes.
Something like that. It's all pretty good roads, eh? Good gravel roads, like not bumpy or anything, they're actually pretty good roads, so we'll just cruise along. Just a quick one on that accommodation in Arthur River, to do all that stuff around Arthur River. Two things, that Manuka Caravan Park, camping area, is run by the Parks and Wildlife. You just pull into the Parks and Wildlife in the first building basically in Arthur River. It's $15 a night, so we just stayed there 2 nights. We were meant to do the cruise today obviously, so we didn't stay another day because the cruise was canned because of the wind. It was gale force winds apparently, so they said they're not allowed to run. Water you have to boil to drink, and we drank it this morning after boiling it, so I think it's fine.
It's got toilets.
And it's got toilets that are really nice. Just no showers or anything, that's all. Doesn't worry us. And it's Australia Day in school holidays in Tassie, and it still had heaps of room. And where we were, I don't remember if you saw it on the camera somewhere, but where we were is in the main area. There's lots of other little other areas around the place. You drive up and you can easily have a little area to yourself somewhere up at a little dead end. It's very, good little park. They had two, there's one called Peppermints, but that's like holds 3 vans and it's right in town, across the road from the shop. But from the Manuka, you can leave everything there. You can walk down to the river, 700 metres. You can walk to the township, the shop, whatever, Wild Park, the Parks and Wildlife office. Sounds pretty good. Other thing is, everyone who talked about that cruise that we couldn't go on said it is brilliant. It is really well worth doing. It's a full day. They do a barbie lunch. Apparently it's really good value. It's actually more expensive than the one in than the big boat on the Gordon River. But the Gordon River one's very formal, big, formal, sit down in here and look out the windows, and just a lot more formal than that one. Very good as well. I did it years ago, but this one apparently is a bit more relaxed and a bit of a chuckle. But anyway, shame I didn't get to do that one, but next time. And these roads, how's these roads? Oh, this is school holidays and the day after Australia Day. And it's just, there's just no one. Just very casual. Yeah, if this was southeast Queensland and it was around a public holiday, it would be busy as. The roads would be all chockers, there'd be traffic jams, so this is actually very enjoyable. Loving it. this road still. So this is the Western Explorer. Cool. My tyres are still on 30, I think. I only found them up to 30 yesterday because I was getting attacked by bees. But it's probably okay because a fair bit of this is gravel, I think. Like all the way to Corinna. So there we go. Oh, look at the dust behind. Pretty high up, eh? Road's pretty good. It's in on 80. I've actually got it in four-wheel drive, so it doesn't flick as many rocks up, I'm thinking. With these big chunky tyres, they tend to chuck rocks and don't really want to chuck one through the back window, like bouncing off a caravan. So the good news is with the windows up, you can't hear all the rocks hit the caravan. And the steep bit. The bridge back there's 5 tonne gross, so you have to watch your weight. You only see it as you come onto it, so by the time you read the sign, I got a full drive. By the time you read the sign, it's probably a little bit late to stop if you're over 5 tonne, but worth thinking about. Find a little hilly bit in the middle of nowhere. Wow. What are you saying about lighter caravan? The headwind, and we're on 91. So in Marrawar there's a bows there for 98, but they don't use it, so it's just 91. So you should remember that towing your caravan. Obviously I'm not going to get as good a fuel economy. Oh wow. Back in full drive. Make things handling just a bit better. Pretty interesting little track. Really be careful with the 2.5 tonne on the back. But you don't have to go this way. You can actually, to get to Waratah or down Strawn Way, you can go back out the main drag around Smith and Wynyard, I think, and up into. There's another bitumen way the whole way down to Waratah. But it looked a little bit longer, and this way is always going to be a bit more scenic. So my theory is take it a bit slow, have a look around, and still get there today. So without doing bitumen roads. Just keep an eye out in the distance, maybe, for dust and other cars.
Yeah.
Wow, look at all the country. Wow. Got dust over there?
Yes. Dust on the horizon.
Good thing about having four-wheel drive like this is when you change back a gear or whatever, I'm driving a manual at the moment, it slows all the wheels down, so it controls things a lot better. Just in case you're talking and you miss a corner like I do occasionally. Brakes are pretty good, but engine's better. So on the Caravan pushing you through a corner, so I'll probably set the fiddly with your brakes a bit on the Caravan just to get it so it holds the back of the car where it should be. The scenery just keeps on changing. It's only 5 minutes from when we're going up over that hill. What is that noise?
What is it?
It's a stick. So it's only a stick, so I'm just going to drive somewhere a bit safer.
Yeah.
Might have just fallen off. Just fell off. You can see how much fuel we used today on 91. Oh, there's a good crest. 91 and up and down hills and slow, windy going. Probably use a fair bit. We shall see. Have a full drive.
Can't see anyone behind us, Chris.
No, it's all right. Good. Steep little climb. You see why they put bitumen on it? Literally carved into the side of a hill. Big bumps here. Oh. Road disputes over there. Good, it goes a windy way around, doesn't it?
Yeah, I wonder why.
So is this all national park? Are we in now? Is it green or is it white?
No, it's green.
Still green, wow. Wow. Can't see anything out behind it. On this side, it's just all dust.
There's no car. That's the important thing. And then caravan's been connected.
Yeah, caravan's still there.
Now that looking at it, if that's like that little knob on the water there, might be Sandy Cape.
Oh, yeah? Oh,
Somewhere here, which I'm guessing it's that mountain, is Mount Norfolk.
yeah, one of those you think would. There you go, so the road Arthur River to Corinna. It's real slow, windy, up, steep and hilly section in the middle. But I think the scenery's worth it, eh? We're to go take the beach with the van on. But and try and dodge potholes and rocks and stuff. But it's oh yeah, very scenic. Have a look at that. Very pretty. This part of the road's good again now. We think we're only about 20 k's out of Corinna if we did it. What's the mountain called? Is it a climate? Next up, we continue through these beautiful Meredith and Norfolk ranges through Corinna and onto Waratah.